This is the weather I'm used to with hill climbs, I'm just not used to it being in July. This is Windgather, 3.1k at 6.2%, but that's not the full story, because there's a false flat in the middle and steeper sections either side. As you can see, it was a glorious evening in the Peak District, and this ends basically the junction of where Pimchair ended, so it's a very similar area, but it really is quite different to Pimchair in that it's a gradual-ish climb. So here I'm going down to the line, you see everyone in their waterproofs and their heavy gear. Very annoyingly for me this week, my power meter just stopped working as I was warming up. I wonder if it's because it had been in my checked luggage, if the batteries got damaged in the hold when I came back from Bilbao. Anyway, it is what it is. I did not have the power to guide me as I went, and I wasn't sure how I was going to pace this. My legs had felt rubbish all week, but the really great thing about these hill climbs is I don't feel any pressure. Like, yeah, my legs felt rubbish, and I thought, who knows how I'll perform, but unlike other competitive events where I think, oh, I'll be shit and I don't want to do it, there's such a great atmosphere at these of everyone just having a go that I feel no embarrassment at all, even if I'm going to do really badly. So here you go, you saw me set off. Like I say, no idea how to pace it. I knew that it was steep at first, relatively steep, and I thought, well, I'll go relatively deep, but clearly I have forgotten how to pace relatively deep. Sorry for the rear view only footage, by the way. Not only my power meter failed, but my front camera managed to turn itself off during my warm-up, so I have no front footage of this one. But that's okay, the view behind me is nicer anyway. So yeah, as we get up here, I'm out the saddle, stomping pretty hard, and I think it's around on this corner here that I go, I have gone far too deep. Yeah, it's sort of hard. You get carried away in races, don't you? And I normally mitigate that by looking at my power meter and going, calm down. And I didn't have that, so I just stomped away and lived to regret it, but so be it. The weather was truly awful. It was cold as well as wet, which is not great, but there's this sort of camaraderie about it as you're all going, it's horrible, isn't it? So yeah, it was still a really fun evening. I would still do it again. If you told me they were doing this climb in this weather with these people again, I would still go there. So that's about the most endorsement I can give it. I hope you believe me. As you can see, the scenery behind me is very nice when the camera's clear. I think at this point I was still kind of enjoying it, but realised I'd bitten off more than I could chew pacing wise, and here's my first false flat where I wanted to gain a little bit of speed. When I chatted to Beamer at the end of this, he said something really nice about the videos I make, that they're a really good advert for what they do, and it's good to show new people to come and get stuck in, basically. And I think I'm really boring. I'm so clinical about this, aren't I? I'm not a very charismatic person, so I'm like, oh, I went hard here, and then I went gently here, and I tried to be fast. But I would say, if you're sort of new or you've not had a go at hill climbing before, I just can't recommend it highly enough, because you get all of the sort of enjoyment of pushing yourself to your absolute limit and competing. Like, there's something rewarding about competing without what I perceive as all the negatives of competition, the sort of person-to-person egos and having to deal with people being knobheads or people being like, haha, I'm better than you because I beat you this week. You know, this week I finished below a load of guys that the last few weeks, a few guys that I have been finishing above, and I don't think any of us at any point are going, oh, he's really good and I'm not, or I'm really good and he's not. It's all about our personal efforts versus the hill, and no matter how fast or slow anyone is up it, everyone's sort of almost made the same achievement at the top, if that makes sense. So for me, who can be a bit self-conscious about competing, the atmosphere at these are just phenomenal. Even if I genuinely believed I was going to come last, I would want to come and do it every week because of the sort of culture around them. So yeah, if you're unsure, there's something so rewarding about going, to your absolute limit, finding what your absolute limit is and having to surpass it and being encouraged by your competitors. There's nothing scary about cycling up a hill. It is hard. It's hard for everyone. No matter how good you are, everyone's knackered at the end of it. So come and give it a go. Windgather would be a cracking entry to hill climbing, by the way, because it's very hard in places. As you can see, the gradient's never really consistent, so it's not a metronomic sit down and spin bottom to top. It's like push over this little crest, get speed on this little false flat. Really, if you're an intelligent rider who reads the road, you can gain loads of time with it. On the contrary, if you're me, you can go off far too fast and then go, oh god, I'm just dying, whether it's a false flat or a or a steep. This week, Rhiannon had apologised to me and said I'm not getting out of the car, which is perfectly reasonable. She'd been away at a residential with a load of 11-year-olds in Wales for 3 days, so she was quite content to just sit in the car on her own. I passed this fella, and then I did the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. Rhiannon got it in photo form, which is I took my sunglasses off because they were so covered in water, and I threw them into the boot. So Rhiannon's sitting, open boot of the car, and I threw it in. I thought it was super cool. Didn't get any footage of it whatsoever. Never mind. On the right of the screen, my left as I cycled up here, is the Windgather rocks that it's named after. It's like rock climbing, scrambling, outdoorsy stuff there, and on a nice day, it's magnificent. There were some hardy souls who were still going, climbing up there today. Fair play. And this bit is a relatively long false flat, but it's deceptive. Because, okay, this bit's sort of 0 to 1, but now it looks flat for quite a while, but it's not. God, maybe it is. My Garmin really thinks it is. I think it's not. I think there's a little more gradient to this. Look, I'm clearly going uphill. It's probably just that my Garmin's waterlogged, so the barometer doesn't work. So yeah, this bit was really hard for me mentally, and I think, again, if I'd had my power meter, it would have helped a lot. I had rubbish legs this week, so it's not because I don't have my power meter. I just wasn't feeling my best post-Spain. I think I paid for the time off the bike and, frankly, all the food as well, but it sort of caught up to me, if that makes sense. As I'm approaching the end, I'll just let you know that in 2 days' time I'm flying to Australia for 3.5 weeks, which I'm very excited about, but means there will be no hill climb videos for a while. Beamer did tell me I'm a very close second in the guest rider classification, and asked, you know, if there was any chance I'd be doing any more. And I will do the very last one of these series, but I'll basically be straight off the plane. Not really, it'll be a couple of days after. So I intend to be a lot heavier and a lot less fit by then. So that's okay. I'm happy that I was even close to competitive. I've loved doing these. All I can say is come and do them. And do, you know, any hill climb. Go and support your local hill climbs. I think it's a general pervasive culture in UK hill climbing, but especially these. The local atmosphere is really fantastic. So if you're thinking about it, all I can say is go and get stuck in. Even in the rain, this landscape's beautiful. It's the perfect place to ride your bike. It's the perfect place to push yourself, and week on week try and get the best out of yourself without any worry that if you don't get the best out of yourself, it happens to all of us. I was sort of glad I had a crap legs week, by the way, because I think for 3 or 4 weeks I've sort of performed higher than I expected and higher than I thought I would sustainably keep doing. It's always good to have something to bring you back down to earth, a proper crappy legs day to go, no, I still am the level of athlete I thought I was. It's not that I've just not been reaching my potential for ages. And as I get to the top here, you can't see the nice group of people cheering me on despite the absolutely miserable weather, but it's cool that people come and watch. I know it's just like, you know, competitors, partners, parents, that sort of thing, but it's just really nice that everyone sacrifices their time for this. So even though it wasn't a great performance by me, I was fully, absolutely destroyed at the end of it, all the same, just the same as every week. You can't really ask for more than that, can you? Here we go, big final kick. I think my metrics are slightly out. I hope I'm not doing 7 kph at this point. And here I go, crossing the line with a decent little bit of pace. But yeah, it was a real struggle this week, and still loads of fun. So give me that over the local chain gang where everyone gets ratty at each other one lap in and starts to go, oh, you're pulling too hard, you're not pulling through hard enough, oh, you're not very good. I haven't been because I can't be bothered with that anymore. Give me this any day. Yeah, so despite not feeling great, I still came 6th, which is something I'm really proud of. That's not a bad performance at all. And here you can see just how poor my pacing was. First, 0.5 to 1k, far too fast. Some very wet but smiling faces, because that's what this is like. Right, that's me out for a few weeks. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. See you after my holiday.